AJ Lee has retired from in-ring competition from the WWE. Welcome back, everyone. This is Jason, aka J-Bone, of the Ramble About Wrestling podcast, here to bring you my thoughts on this some shocking news that has rocked the wrestling world. Shortly after such a huge weekend, WrestleMania. Between WrestleMania and the night after, the Raw has always been spectacular. Really surprised by this, and I'll tell you what I assumed before I get into all the AJ stuff. What I assumed was going to happen. For those of you who may watch Total Divas, I've watched it on and off this season with my wife. I watched the first two seasons pretty much in its entirety. This season, I kind of fell away from it. Wasn't as interested as I usually am, but I kind of watched it vicariously through my wife. She would tell me what's going on, and I would watch a few episodes here and there with her. In the conclusion of the season, it ends with Total Divas ending with the Bella Twins, seriously contemplating their retirement from the ring in the WWE. So, seeing that episode and leading up to WrestleMania, I had actually predicted that, with that concept in mind, that the Bellas were going to win at WrestleMania, and then soon thereafter, somewhere in the next couple months, somebody would come to the roster and take the belt off of Nikki Bella and start a new reign as Divas champion, similar to what happened last year between Paige and AJ from NXT. That being said, this came completely out of nowhere. There's been a little talk here and there, a little buzz here and there, with all the controversy of CM Punk leaving the WWE, doing his podcast with Colt Cabana, being married to AJ Lee, and AJ Lee still being a part of the WWE. The question was, okay, well, how long is she going to stay with the company? How long, with all this going on, is she going to, what is her relationship with the WWE? Are they giving her crap because of CM Punk? All these little questions going on, that the fans are curious about. That, and I give her a lot of credit. I don't think she came out publicly and talked about any of this, not that I've heard of. So I give her a lot of respect for that. She didn't slam her company she was currently with. She didn't. She didn't do anything to bring attention to herself in all this, and I give that says something about her, honestly. She's always, when you look at the Divas division, she's always been different, and I don't mean that in a bad way. If you look at what the Divas division has been like over the course of the last between 5 to 10 years, it's been a lot of, let's say, models, that were kind of thrown into the ring that really, in many fans' opinion, didn't belong in the ring. You look at someone like, just for example, and I'm not hating on her, I'm just saying compared to other really talented female wrestlers, like if you look at someone like Stacy Keibler, in my opinion, Stacy Keibler never belonged in a WWE or any wrestling ring. And when she was done with the WWE, that became perfectly clear. She never did any independent dates, to my knowledge. She went off and had a big, wild whirlwind romance with George Clooney. know, I don't even know what the hell she's doing now, but she's not with him. But anyways, you know, there was the whole, you know, Divas search that went on for years, and it seemed like they just hired model after model after model, and we started really getting away from the women's wrestling that we came to know and love in the attitude slash aggression era. You know, Trish Stratus, Lita, Jazz, who else? Molly Holly was a great example. Um, and there were a few others. You know, but you know, when you think of female wrestlers, you don't think of, you know, other women who have recently even went in the Hall of Fame, like Sunny. You know, she walked around half naked all the time and became famous for her body. And now she's, you know, doing $50, you know, boob flashes on Skype for a living. It's like, it's so embarrassing. It's even uncomfortable for me to talk about. It's ridiculous. AJ Lee has always, as crazy as her character has been, going from, oh, I can't even think of half the relationships that she was in while she was on the main roster. You know, the whole thing with Daniel Bryan was classic. She had a cup of coffee with John Cena. She did the stint with Dolph Ziggler. Almost looked like she was going to do something with Big E. Even tried seducing Kane. Oh my God, the list goes on and on. You know, it's hilarious. You know, but while she did all this, she always seemed to stay separate from everyone else in that sense. And I mean, you know, a lot. Yeah, I'm saying she was. Well, you could say she was better than everyone else because she had that it factor, that between being great in the ring and charisma just for days, you know, just an absolute insane amount of charisma. And you know, I wanted to jump on this right away, but I also wanted to wait and just see if there was anything newsworthy that came out along with it. You know, the breaking news that she was done, okay, and then you wait to hear why. Well, we haven't gotten that far yet. There are some feelers, some rumors, because of certain pictures that were taken on Instagram of her and some other divas, that she may be pregnant. I don't know. I'm not going to entertain those right now. I don't think they're worth entertaining until she comes out and says, I got a butt in the oven. You know, I'm not going to say she was trolling the internet. I think she's having fun with fans. Could have been a joke between friends. Who knows? But yeah, in preparing for this video, I went on Wikipedia. I don't know, classic Wikipedia. And just to look at a little bit of the history, because I wasn't sure what she had all done before coming to the WWE. So I looked, and I'm just doing a quick little retrospective on her career. She started her training back in 2007, and it talks about her inspiration being Lita. You know, the pictures are out there of her being all emotional, meeting Lita, and it was her, you know, what made her want to break into the wrestling. That was she was 12 years old. It's cute. Uh, and for how long did people say that she looked like a 12-year-old on TV? It was crazy. But anyways, so she did training with, and I didn't realize this. I heard little things on there that she was in a relationship with Jay Lethal. I did not realize that Jay Lethal actually trained her. So thought that was very interesting. And she was in was it WSU, Women's Superstars Uncensored. Debuted in September 2007, and not even 2 years later, in 2009, got a contract to go to Florida Championship Wrestling. She was then part of the WWE from then on. From 2009, 2011, did more training down there, and did her whole thing with NXT. Was that season 3 of NXT? Yeah, sure enough, 3rd season, the all-female season of NXT. That was interesting. I remember seeing it on TV. Gosh, I hope. I don't even know if they have this on the the WWE Network. I'm gonna have to go look, because I know they've got a lot of old stuff with NXT, but I'm not sure how far back it goes. I'll have to look. Yeah, I remember watching some of that. I don't remember how much of it I watched, but oh yeah, she was in a tag team with Caitlyn, known as the Chick Busters. It's funny. So yeah, there were some good divas in there. The ones that actually were halfway decent wrestlers. Caitlyn was my favorite out of that whole bunch, I'll be honest. But yeah, then it has a section of various relationships, Raw General Manager from 2011, 2013. Longest, she became the longest reigning Divas champ. I'm not seeing the date on here. I'm not going to read the whole thing. But she's a 3-time Divas champ. Had that kick-ass finish, the Black Widow. Incredible submission. I'll give her credit for that. I don't know where she learned that from, if she borrowed it from someone or who originally had it. I don't know. But man, that is one of my favorite finishers as far as a Divas or women's wrestler. Yeah, being married to CM Punk. Gosh, they've almost been married a year already. It's crazy. So yeah, she's had a hell of a career. To quote, I'm not gonna have the quote on here. I saw it earlier when I was getting ready for this. Joey Styles said it was interesting to see how AJ, in the course of 5 years, put a Hall of Fame career together. Yeah, hats off to AJ, certainly, for that. And just about an hour ago, she tweeted. I think this is her first tweet since WWE announcing her retirement. She posted a picture of some luggage and her famous Converse that she always wore to the ring, the very tall ones that came up to her knees practically, the tie-up ones. Picture of the Converse leaning up against the luggage, and a statement saying, "Break the rules. Be a fighter. Any dream is possible if you are brave enough to do it your way. Thank you all." And that's great. In a nutshell, it's good good words there from AJ. So yeah, shocked. Well, I'm shocked, but I'm not. Considering everything that's gone on in the Divas division over the course of the last few months, I certainly thought it was going to be, like I said, the Bellas saying sayonara soon, not AJ Lee. And I don't think this is a situation where she's frustrated and she's going to go jump ship and go somewhere else. I don't think this is that kind of situation at all. So I'm not going to entertain those thoughts. I would not be surprised for a second if TNA does try to contact her, at least just to see where her head is at, see if she's really retired from in-ring competition. I wouldn't blame TNA. They need talent. I mean, they're doing good. They've got some good additions to their roster, and they got Awesome Kong back, which is cool. But no, I don't think this is a situation where AJ Lee is going to go anywhere. I don't see that happening. It's just funny, she did all this and have an amazing career with the WWE, and she's only, how old is she? Her birthday was on March 19th. She's 28 years old. She's not even 30. And she's retired from in-ring competition. Well, who knows? Maybe she did get injured, I mean, she was one of the more, I'm not going to say crazy wrestlers, but she was certainly, she went on a limb how many times in the ring and really put on a hell of a show for us. So, so that's it for AJ Lee. She is retiring. Well, hats off to AJ. Thank you for being one of the most entertaining female wrestlers of the last, I'll say decade, because there's been a lot of good female wrestlers over the years. But as far as recently, I'd say she's one of the better ones. If I can go out on a limb for a moment and kind of examine the Divas division, this certainly does leave a big hole in the WWE Divas division. The Bellas are on top. That's a given. Paige certainly has excuse me. Paige certainly has made a name for herself over the course of the last year after debuting after the last WrestleMania, the night after, and getting the championship from AJ. She's been champion a few times. I'm sure she'll be champion many more times after this. She's become quite the fan favorite. She's great in the ring. She's adorable. Who else? Natalya. I don't see Natalya going anywhere for a while. Unless it gets down to the point where she wants to start a family with Tyson Kidd. Who knows? But she's been a positive mainstay in the Divas division. God, I just hate saying Divas division. I really do. I guess that's the old school side of me that, anyways. And there's plenty other females on the main roster. Just, I don't see a lot of them being up, at the par that, AJ Lee or Paige is. Naomi's gotten better over the years. I'll give her that. She's certainly athletic. She's fun to watch. She's got the booty bop. That's funny as hell to watch here and there. She had a great win on Monday night, this last Monday. think she was even on SmackDown, but I haven't watched that yet. Cameron needs a lot of work still. Last time I saw her in the ring, dear God. I'm not even going to talk about Eva Marie. It's not even worth mentioning. Oh gosh, who else? Oh, I've heard friends talk about that. Lana is going to start an in-ring competition. I highly doubt that. I really do. Although I will give her credit, she took her first bump at WrestleMania 31. She was flying off the ring and crashed on the ground and then cried about her ankle. Congrats, Lana, for taking your first bump into WWE. I doubt it will lead to many more. Who else? Well, I think you could skip straight to NXT. Let's look at the future of the Divas division. Let's go with Flair's daughter, Charlotte, who is certainly stepping out of the shadow of her father quite quickly, I might add. When she started at NXT, coming out on television, she got a lot of woos because of who she was. She's the man. To be the man, you got to beat the man. And she was the daughter of the man. So every time she came out, she got a big woo, or lots of woos. And I think she even did a few herself, just to portray who she was. But now, I don't see the fans doing that. Maybe when she gets to the main roster, because of the crowds, she'll be around. Depending on what city she's in, she'll get some, and that's fine. She's former NXT champion. I expect she'll be up on the main roster sooner than later because of this now, because the hole in Divas division that needs to be filled now. I don't see them waiting much longer with her. And she's great in the ring, considering the little time she's had on TV and down in NXT over the course of the last year. She's really done well. You can tell she's a little green when it comes to promos, but that will come with time. You can tell she's got the cockiness, she's got the attitude of her dad. She will be a welcome addition to the main roster sooner than later. Sasha Banks, current NXT Women's Champion, has been just turning heads like crazy. Great women's champion. When I started hearing things about her, when she first came to NXT television, hearing that she was Snoop Dogg's niece, cousin, something, whatever she is. I think it's Snoop Dogg's niece. I was like, oh, okay, another celebrity that can't wrestle. No, I was pleasantly proved wrong about that. She has really proved herself in the ring and on the mic. Has become quite the competition down in NXT. Bayley, that's a tough one. She is growing a fan base. I don't know if she has what it takes to get to the main roster. She's doing well down at NXT, but I don't know if she has what it takes to flip the switch to get her, to propel her to bigger heights. I don't know. Maybe it's just her. I don't know what it is. Is it because she's too squeaky clean? I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the image she portrays and she just needs to toughen up a little bit. I don't know. But she's getting there. Alexa Bliss just came back from an injury. She had a busted nose or something. She's doing well. She's some would say maybe she's too cute for wrestling, but I don't know. But she certainly is attractive, and she's got some good moves. Who else? The Queen of, what does she call herself? The Queen of Staten Island, I believe she calls herself. Carmella comes out with Enzo and Big Cass. She's still kind of green, but she's got a lot of charisma and has a ton of sass behind her strut. She's getting better. So yeah, there are there's plenty of talent down in NXT that's being molded, shaped, transformed, taught, however you want to say it, trained. And Sarah Del Rey, I know that I can't think of her real name, I apologize. One of the greatest women wrestlers out there who's doing the training down in NXT. Hats off to her for doing the job she's doing down there. Is certainly leading the way to the future of this. What I think fans will someday call the greatest women's division in wrestling. I honestly believe that. Maybe not so much over the course of the last 5 years or so, but it's getting there. It's baby steps. It's not going to become insane. It's not going to become insanely great overnight. I think once Vince McMahon steps down and Triple H finally does take over for good, I think you'll see a lot more real women's wrestling in the WWE. Till then, we'll just have to be patient and get what we get, and hopefully, I just saw an interview with Charlotte today. Hopefully, the day will come where women's wrestling won't be just a popcorn match. I think she said it really well. And for a person like Charlotte to have a goal someday to headline a Raw with a women's match, hey, or she said something like that, or headline a pay-per-view, hey, that's an incredible goal. You know what? And with the talent that's coming up, if booked properly, it can happen. Hey, this is WWE. Why not? Because there's been plenty of women's matches that have headlined NXT shows, good ones too. The Charlotte Natalia match, Sasha Banks Charlotte match, plenty of them. Emma and Paige. Oh, Emma! I didn't even think about Emma. She's been absent from TV for how long? Hopefully they do something with her soon. And if that means turn her heel, fine. She's that close. Just turn her heel, repackage her down in NXT, and then bring her back up to the main roster. She did some dumb stuff, but she's too good of a talent to waste. I sincerely believe that. So that's my thoughts on the Divas division and this news about AJ Lee retiring from in-ring competition. We'll have to wait for the weeks and months ahead, maybe sooner than we think. Who knows? To know the real reason why. Who knows? Maybe she'll stay silent. Who knows? Like her hubby. Her hubby's been pretty off the radar, with the exception of the podcast he did. So we'll have to see. So that's my thoughts on this. Thanks for watching, guys.